We are. So I have quite the backlog of Death Guards. I'm at that point to where I have to get through the rest of my Death Guard. So this is currently everything that I have remaining of just the Marines. This guy, thankfully, has already been pretty much painted in copper and silver. So he will be pretty simple to finish. But tonight we're going to work on him instead. Um, Over the next, probably tomorrow, we're going to paint this guy. And then from there, it's just going to be a mix of the Death Guard and Flesh Terrors. But yeah, I'm happy to say that we have substantially cut down on the amount of Death Guard that I have to paint. And I've painted quite a bit over the last month and a half. So, since I've been streaming about 9 days, I figured I might as well take this opportunity to stream for you guys a bit and actually go about doing this on camera since I haven't done that yet. But yeah, we're going to try a little bit of a different method in terms of painting this. So I've gotten a few new colors, a few new paints in the mail recently, and we're going to try those out. It is Black Templar Contrast and Rye Wood. Normally I try to paint these guys, like the horns and whatnot, in like flashy greens and whatnot, but tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. So yeah, I figured we might as well get started on this. So let me pick out the brush I'm going to use tonight and we'll go from there. But yeah, I've been painting Death Guard pretty much continuously over the past 2 months at this point. So I fully understand exactly what I need to do with these guys and how to go about painting them. So the process of painting them is quite quite easy for me. I could expand a little bit and do something different, but most of my Death Guard units are painted in the same color spectrum, the color scheme that I've been going for. So we're just going to stick with that and finish off these guys in the same way, you know. But yeah, I actually stopped live streaming for a good 9 days, and I don't know if I've said this before in my prior live streams, but for me it's really difficult to try and talk about new things, especially when it's like day after day after day, you know. It's just painting. So it gets really, really difficult to come up with new things to talk about a lot of the times. Well, I'm glad you're able to talk about something new because my life is pretty dull. Um, Hopefully you guys can actually see this. I just pulled up my live stream. Um, if I need to zoom in at any point in time, please let me know. I will go about doing that so you guys can see me painting this model in close up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. You give me the answer to that. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna speculate what it might potentially be. So I'll give you the floor on this one. Oh, it's just a theory. Okay, okay. I mean, I don't know. It could be some like really contaminated shit, you know, like some real Chernobyl type of stuff. How's it going, money? I think at this point, this is probably my 30th or 35th model of Death Guard that I've actually painted. So my color how I go about doing this is pretty similar, to be honest. Um, I want that uniformity of my models. So I have a tendency of like just rinse and repeating what I do. Um, so like for this guy, um, I think I've painted him about 4 times. I mean, if you want me to, man, I'll throw out that airbrush and just fucking spray it on your face. It's a Death Guard Plague Marine. I'm not entirely sure what box set it comes from. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. How about that? That's a little bit better. All I know is this and probably the last 15 models I bought from a guy off of Facebook. And he was pretty much he sold me his entire collection that he got from his buddy. So a lot of these models that I have, I honestly don't know where the fuck they came from. I'm sure they came from like obscure box sets from old Games Workshop boxes. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Since a lot of these Marines, you can make like 3 to 4 different models. Well, okay, not 3 to 4, but 1 to 2 different versions of these models when you're building them. It's quite difficult to really pinpoint exactly where they come from. I mean, you never know, man. I mean, I heard that fucker is doing really well for himself nowadays. Fucking Sesame Street. I remember watching that shit when I was like 5 years old back in the 90s. Goddamn. I don't think I've seen that. That just brought back the fucking like jingle that they sung when they first opened up the series every morning. Wow. So I gotta give it to you, man. You gave me some brought back some core memories. Fucking that and Teletubbies. Holy fuck. That was when I was a wee lad. I honestly didn't know that. Um, it has been so fucking long since I've watched that stuff that I couldn't tell you who even is still alive from those actors of, or not the voice actors, I mean to say. If there even is any. But I managed to get the Nurgle Glotkin. I got that from the other day. I'll show you. I have quite the backlog of painting that I need to do, but I got him in the mail. Quite the big ass fucking model that I'm going to paint at some point. But I'm pretty much purchasing all the supersized Death Guard models that they own. The Great Unclean one, Mortarion, I got the Glotkin, and then the... Fuck, I forgot his name. Fuck, I don't know what his name was. But, I mean, who knows? It might be that, like that one movie where the toys come alive. I can't imagine these fuckers coming in and attending my funeral, end up turning me into one of them. If that was the case. Yeah, Small Soldiers. Fuck yeah. I remember watching that movie as a kid. God damn, I can't even imagine that. All my fucking Death Guard units coming to life. And like, oh hey. Yeah, no thank you. I don't need Papa Nurgle's fucking blessing in the middle of the night. Especially if it's all the Death Guard with their weapons and Mortarion fully painted with the Great Unclean One. And kiss my ass with that. Well, either that or like, I don't know what would be worse, Slaanesh models At least corn models, they would just fucking charge my ass and try to, kill me. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I think the right side controls motor function, or maybe that's the left. So I guess I just fucking become mute. I don't know. As long as I can use my hands, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be Gucci. You take away my eyesight, then I'm kind of fucked. But as long as I can use my hands, fuck, I'm sure I could even start painting with my feet if you allowed me that. So whether or not the right side of my brain stopped working or not, as long as it didn't remove those two abilities, then I think I'll be able to live somewhat comfortably. I mean, it might be fucking difficult, but life's nothing but a challenge sometimes, First man to paint a miniature with his fucking feet. If that was the case, honestly, I would probably consider if I had schizophrenia. I was developing some kind of neurological disorder, or probably think that, God fucking hates me, so he's probably torturing me with some demons. But before I got to that conclusion, I would probably figure out if either one of the first two options was the case. I don't know. I've seen YouTube videos of like schizophrenics fucking like trying to recreate what they see exactly, and what you're describing is not necessarily off the wall when it comes to the possibility. I know one guy like draws fucking faces and like his notebooks, and they kind of just instantly appear fucking in his field of vision. So to be honest, it's not too hard to think that random eyes could appear out in the void when you're not looking and just, disappear the moment that you try to make eye contact with them. It'd still be fucking freaky though. Don't get me wrong, it would still fucking freak me out. But, I mean, eventually at some point you would just kind of get used to it, I would think. I mean, fucking show up. Like, what the fuck kind of stupid questions are you asking? Start beating the hell out of you. Fuck. You go into the waiting room. The doctor arrives. Like, all right, what's the problem? And you fucking open your mouth, and before you can say anything, he starts beating the hell out of you. Just like, who gave you fucking permission to talk? Like, doctor, I'm sick. Hey, you ain't fucking sick. I'll fix you. Fucking pops you in the jaw. Oh, that's good. Like, your foot hurts. All right. Don't worry, we'll give you something else to fucking hurt. No. Oh. Hey, I needed a good laugh. Otherwise, I wouldn't be fucking. I couldn't figure out what to talk about. So it gives me something to contemplate while I'm doing this. Oh. All right, let me get some fucking music playing. Hip hop remix. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, you most definitely won't hear this. But I'm gonna try and find something to listen to at the meantime. Oh, all right. So I think I've gotten all of the. No, I have not. Sorry. I gotta get these bullets, rounds. I honestly don't really think there's much left in terms of the copper that I need to do with this model. It's pretty simple, to be honest. You know, when I first started painting these Death Guard models, it was like really overwhelming in terms of like, oh, am I gonna paint these right? You know, but like the biggest thing for me is like the demons of Nurgle because there's a lot of fucking I don't know if you can see this, but um, I guess this guy doesn't have much boils or whatnot, but that's like the biggest thing that gets me is the fucking boils and pus and all that. It's like you don't know exactly where to fucking paint. So I've gotten to the point to where I'm just kind of ignore it and just kind of hope for the best and just kind of paint the basic layers, and then as I get done with it, I just move on and try to see if I can find where best to paint stuff. But if I get overwhelmed with it, I just say fuck it. Let's move on to the silver. So the silver, we're going to do the rounds of ammunition. Do this on his bolter. Be honest, there's really not many places the silver needs to be applied on this model specifically. It's mostly like his backpack with all these like cables and whatnot. But this is one of the easier models to do because he doesn't have much in terms of like complexity. I mean, I still have to do all the bone protrusions, but that still just comes down to you know, Wraithbone, Rye Wood, and then Black Templar in a different layers. Let's see. I guess we'll do these cables right here. I don't even know how many fucking points of Death Guard I have. I have so much fucking Death Guard to the point to where it's I don't even know. I don't have it all with me because I've moved it all to my girlfriend's house, but I still have what is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 21. Oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27 more Death Guard to do. And that's not even including the fucking shit that I've bought, too. So, honestly, probably by the end of this, I should have, like, hopefully 2,000 points. Maybe 3,000 to 4,000. I don't know. It's a lot, though. I know that for a fact. It's quite a lot. I'm trying to think. So I'm kind of debating if I should go about putting on the streaking grime first before I do anything else, because last time I did streaking grime with the white, it darkened the white out too much. But at the same time, when it darkens it out and like dries, it makes the consistency of it really. You know what? No, we're gonna do the streaking grime afterwards. We'll put the white on, we'll put the streaking grime on after that, and then from there we will apply all the contrast and everything over top of it. So the streaking grime really darkens everything out to the point to where it like makes it look really grimdark, and it's been one of my favorite things to add to miniature models, especially for the Death Guard, just because no matter how much you fuck up, like as an example, I don't know if you can see this, but this gold shoulder pad I've overlapped a little bit by accident on other parts that didn't necessarily need to be bronze. But once I apply the streaking grime to it, everything just turns into like a fucking, it just makes everything look so dirty to where you can't even see it. So when you're initially painting your base colors for your model, you can really just kind of go ham with it and just say fuck it and not worry about, oh, I went over this like accidentally and touched, his cape by accident. Because by the time you put the streaking grime over it and remove the excess, it's just completely useless. You don't even see the copper over the model that you accidentally went over, if that makes sense. So hopefully this turns out really well. I have another model that has a lot of bone protrusions. So after I add the streaking grime to this, I will definitely see how dark it is by comparison. And then once I apply all of the additional contrast paints to the model, it can give me a good idea on if I want to go ahead with this path in the future. Because if this doesn't work out, I'll just, put the streaking grime on before I put the white over top of it. Alright, so I don't know, I've only been painting now since January, and this is my 105th or 106th model. So I'm guesstimating by the end of 2025 I should have 300 models painted, if this is anything to go off of. I think I have enough purchased and built to equate to 300 models. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. It doesn't sound like a lot, but considering I've already painted 100 in the last 4-5 months, it adds up really fucking quick. So I might most definitely have that many models. And considering I'm buying a lot of like the bigger models, for those who have never been a part of my channel, I'll give you a little bit of overview. I think I'm going to do this going forward just because so many people join my stream throughout the time that I'm talking each one, that I kind of have to really give a background story for myself. But basically, I started painting miniatures this January. My first models were custodians, and I painted a box of 10 of those. I bought a combat patrol, painted the 20 or so, and since then I've moved to Death Guard, Space Marines, and Orcs. So I've purchased a shit ton of models since then. But I plan on moving in the next 2 weeks or so, and I've made I've told myself that once I move, I'm not going to be buying any more Warhammer. So I've went ahead and purchased the largest models that I could find for Death Guard, and it just so happens that has to be the Glotkin, Mortarion, the Great Unclean one, and then there's another one that's coming Friday. I forgot its name. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but if it comes to my thoughts, I will say it. But I purchased all of those just because I wanted to finish my Death Guard army, and I wanted to give myself the opportunity to paint larger models, since I've never really done that. I've always painted Death Guard in these tiny miniature form, and like the Poxwalkers were a pain in the ass to paint, and I absolutely hated them because of all the extra boils, but that mostly had to do with the fact that they were small. So I'm hoping with all these larger models, I will be able to enjoy the process immensely more than I did when I painted Poxwalkers. Um, and I plan on, during the time that I move and I'm not working, I plan on spending at least a week on each one of these models. I'm probably going to put between 20 to 40 hours in for each one of the models and build it in subassembly. So one tentacle at a time, pretty much. And while I'm off work and not doing anything, I have ample opportunity to go about doing that. So in the future, expect streams that are 8, 10, 12 hours, you know? It honestly just kind of depends on my son and the kids and the timeline associated with that, if I'm able to do that, depending on if we're doing something or if they're in daycare or whatever the case may be. But yeah, if I do decide to go ahead and do that, those will be the models that I spend the majority of my time streaming. So if anybody's here watching this video in the future, since I don't delete any of my live streams, if you're here at any point in time, just know that at some point in time, those will be painted during one of those longer streams. Death Guard like this typically takes me around an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm not like very detailed. I haven't painted thousands of models and done this for 10 years, so I'm definitely not like a golden demon fucking level of painter. I still try to put my best effort in all of these models, but when it comes to small models like this, I tend to just work faster because I've done this plenty of times at this point. But when it comes to those bigger models, I most definitely have never painted a model of the size of Mortarion. So because of that, I'm going to take extra measures to do this shit properly in every aspect of that word and that meaning behind it. So there might be situations to where I spend 12 hours on a miniature and I'm not done yet, you know? So I don't know. That it just kind of depends if you're willing to join and watch that. If not, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm just letting you know that that's what you can expect in the near future from now until probably the next 3 to 4 months while I sit back, relax, and enjoy my summer. But yeah. My biggest thing with this Streaking Grime is I'm painting the face on this Nurgle demon on his shoulder guard, but because of Streaking Grime and how much it just kind of settles in all the recesses of the models that you're painting, I'm not quite sure how the tentacles and whatnot are going to react with this white. It might darken it up too much to the point to where even if I add darker contrast paint to it to give out the impression of, you know, a tentacle, it might just be too dark to allow that. So I'll probably have to whiten up the mouth, the eyes, the tongue of this guy, and like his muscle just protruding out of his armor right here. Last time I painted this model, I kind of just half-assed it and just kind of fast forward through the process, but I'm not willing to do that today. So all right, that's all the white done. I'm gonna paint his cape, and then we will put on the Streaking Grime. And then while that dries, we will go about painting the other model. And hopefully by the time the other model's to the point to where I need to add Streaking Grime to it, this one will be dry enough to where I can start patting it down. But we'll see. How's it going, Fox? I didn't think you were going to join for a minute. I'm just still painting this Death Guard. I'm actually getting to the point to where I'm about to add the Streaking Grime effect to them. But how's your night going? How's your weekend been? Anything exciting, fun? I know you said you're going on your vacation, but I'm assuming you've just been getting ready for that for this weekend. I, for one, didn't do shit this weekend. Um, it kind of came down to my girlfriend and how she was feeling. So, because she wasn't really considering doing much, we really didn't do anything besides just casual grocery shopping, getting stuff for the house, and then managing our plants. Other than that, we didn't do a damn thing. Oh, okay. Any idea what you plan on doing with your Lost Space Marine? Anything in particular, or a painting scheme that you're going to try and go for? You might have told me, but I've most definitely forgot. So you're going to have to remind me, just in case. I told my girlfriend today, like the worst thing to ever happen to me is I get fucking Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm gonna be fucked. Like I'm never gonna be able to function because of how shit my memory is. And hopefully, if that does happen, it happens when I'm old and decrepit and I don't have to worry about anything because I'm just laying my happy ass in a nursing home, just waiting to die. Make sure to save myself some 40K miniatures so when that happens, I'll be able to paint in the fucking nursing home. And fucking GW's out of not even a company anymore by then. Fucking 90 years old. Do you remember Warhammer 40K? Huh? Warhammer 40K? You mean those Space Marines? Yeah. Wow, that's old. That's old, Grandpa. Fuck, that's gonna suck. Yeah, I remember you saying Iron Warriors. Yep, I got it. You were talking about it in Discord chat. I most definitely remember that because I asked you on Discord what it was going to be, and then you sent a photo of what you wanted it to kind of look like. But you were taking your time with it because it's your last model. Yep. As members. Yeah. So I am staying home at my house this weekend, so I might do a longer stream at some point on Saturday. I am only 2 weeks away from moving up to Minnesota. Literally 2 fucking weeks. And I wanted to spend time with my son for the last time, like with just me and him, this weekend. So I'm gonna take him to an amusement park. We're gonna have a fun weekend together. But at nighttime, I am going to be live streaming the fuck out of this. So I need to figure out what I'm going to paint and what I'm going to do on Saturday because I don't know how often I will have to paint models after I move in with my girlfriend. It kind of just depends on how much I'm willing to get away with and how and how willing she's going to let me paint for hours upon hours on end. But since this weekend is kind of the exception, I can get away with more. So I need to find something that I'm going to paint. And I think we should do... I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to zoom out. Oop. So I have all of this to do. These are my big boys. All my big models. Oh, you can't see it. Fuck. Hold up. Let me move that stuff around. Oh, fuck. So I have it's like gunship. I have plague drones. I have a blood. Oh, fuck. All right. Hold up. Don't fucking break anything, meat. All right, we have that. We have a Blight Hauler. We have this Chaos. Um, we have this Chaos Dreadnought. We have this regular Flesh Terrors Dreadnought that I need to do. And then we have this turret guy that I need to paint as well. So I might choose something out of this weekend to paint. Honestly, I'm really thinking of this guy or this Dreadnought. It's going to be a mix-up between the two. So I will definitely decide this weekend, on Saturday when I get home from having fun with my son, what we're going to go about doing. But I'm not going to make that decision now because I might change my mind at some point. But okay, so my Chaos Marine is painted. Now it's time to add Streaking fucking Grime. Oops. Alright, so with Streaking Grime, my favorite thing about this is you can kind of just lather this shit on. You don't have to be precise, you don't have to be exact, you just kind of put it on and call it a day. So, because of that, I'm just going to shake this bottle and then just lather this fucker on. And then I just have to let it sit for 20 minutes. That's it. Just let it sit. And yeah, that's it. It looks like a lot that I'm going to add on this model, but trust me, once I dab off everything, it comes off pretty easily. I just have to let it dry for at least 20 minutes. Now, if I let it dry for like an hour or 2 hours, you know, then we'd be encountering some issues. But thankfully, I bought specialty brushes to clean this stuff off properly. I even made sure to grab a second bottle of this stuff because I know in the future I'm going to want to use this on like my bigger models too. And with how much I'm using for this guy, I knew it was going to be a lot. Fuck the fumes. Ugh. Strong. This shit smells horrendous. But yeah, I made sure to get a second bottle of it just in case. Phew. Make sure I got every nook and cranny of this model and I'm not missing anything. Alright, I think I got everything. Oop, a little bit in there. Alright. Take this model off and we'll set it aside. Zoom a little bit. Alright, let's grab the other Death Guard unit that I was working on. If I can find him. Oh, he's down here. Oops. Oh, okay. Let me look. Let me hop on to Discord. Oh, no. And to answer your question, I didn't answer you earlier. No, I didn't put any magnets on my guy at all. I don't play the game, so for me, it's like, you know, I just put the barrel that I like the most and called it good from there. Oh, I see what you're trying to do with the Iron Warriors. That is the ironest iron that I've ever seen. The shiniest shit. Nothing wrong with it though. I'm just saying it's really what fucking silver did you use for that model? I'm curious because that's pretty shiny. Is it lead belcher or is it something else? Because that's what I'm using the Leadbelcher on my guys right now, as like the base layer, you know. All right, where was I at with this guy? Paint these fucking tentacles. But no, I have one more Death Guard to paint, and then I will be able to finally, fucking finally, switch back and forth between Death Guard and Flesh Terrors. Like, I've painted so many Death Guard over the last 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Alright, that makes sense. For some reason, like when I see it in the photo, it looks a lot brighter than like even like seeing it in person, you know? That's why I was asking. So how long is your trip out of the States? Like how long is your trip that you take every year? Is it for like multiple weeks at a time, or is it just like a week long endeavor type of thing? All right, let's see. Where else do I need to add weight? I honestly don't even know what the fuck some of this stuff is. It's like growths or something. I honestly don't even know. This model is like weird in terms of its like decay and stuff. I said, how long is your vacation normally? Is it like a week long type of thing, or is it longer than that? Like, how long are you on vacation before you come back in country or in the United States? To, you know, I don't want to say it over live stream just in case you didn't want that information spread, but. Oh, okay. How long is the flight? I can imagine that's pretty fucking probably the worst part about the whole thing. Especially if it's like an overnight type of thing. I've never been on a plane longer than 5 hours and I wanted to shoot myself. So I can only imagine how long something like your trip would take. Alright. Let's add streak and grab to this guy too. We're gonna let this dry though. Ugh. Yeah, that's no fun at all. I mean, I'm sure you're used to it at this point, but fuck that. I can imagine that gets pretty expensive too. I don't know what it costs to get to like over there, you know, but your parents are real troopers to be able to afford a trip like that every single year, you know? Like I struggle fucking to get a trip to like Montana. Like last year with my girlfriend, it took us the better part of like 4 or 5 months just to get enough money saved up to go on a basic trip to um, Montana, you know? So I can only imagine what it's like to um, save up enough money to go out of state or out of country. But I mean, if it's like a part of their natural expenses, then, you know, it doesn't really count as, they really don't consider it like wasting money or anything like that, you know? Oh, okay. Well, that's good though. I'm glad that she has a safety net set up to where it's not like she has to bust ass for months at a time. Yeah, I can imagine during COVID, man, like that shit was pretty brutal. I mean, thankfully I was able to work throughout the entire time just because the job that I was doing at the time was essential, you know. But a lot of people they just have to just deal with it. You know, they were forced to just not work at all for a long ass fucking time because the jobs that were doing were just not essential for most of the pretty much their entire department. So it came down to just like them being stuck, just trying to scrape by day after day. Here, I will be right back. Give me a second. So on a side note, sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. My bad. Um, I was gonna say, let me zoom this out a little bit. Um, I forgot exactly what I said, but I found the best way to clear off all of the streaking grime for these models is to use these cheap ass fucking mascara like makeup brushes that you can get off of Amazon. They come in a pack of 500 for like 10 bucks, you know. And I've tried using Q-tips. The problem with Q-tips is they leave by little hairs on the model itself to where you're trying to have to work around like little ass hairs. So with this stuff, it's easy, it's double-sided, you're able to just kind of clear off all of the streaking grime from the model itself and go from there. And these are less than a penny each, so it's really nice. But what I was going to say is, so these two models are going to be done probably tonight. From there, we have, this is what we have to work with until I move into, or I move. So I'm hoping to get these models done before I move. There's 5 Flesh Terror Terminators here. I still have 5 Death Guard, two of these models, and then a Terminator, and then 3 other random models. I don't know. But I'm hoping to get this done before I move. This weekend, for sure, I'm going to be painting a shit ton. So I'm hoping at least this weekend I can still continue to get a model per day done. But the reason I'm saying all of this is because after I'm done with all of this, after these models are painted and displayed and put together and all that good shit, I've separated all of the models that I'm going to be working on in the future. And I will show you that real quick. So these are all the models that I'm going to be working on. It's a mixture of Space Marines. You have 10 assault intercessors here. I'll line them all up for you. I kind of just built them randomly, to be honest. Right there. One right here. I gotta wait for these guys to dry anyway, so I can't really do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have a Plague Bearer, another Plague. Um, that's 2 Plague Bears. I have these Etsy models that I chose. So 2 random ass Etsy models. And then I have the official Games Workshop Plague Bear or Plague Marines. I have one right there. These are the Age of Sigmar models. That's one right here. Another one right here. Kind of moving this around so you can see everything. Another one right there. And then I have Space Marines as well. I have these beefy ass fucking boys. And then I have one Nurgling. And then from there it is 4 Gretchen for my orcs. 4 Gretchen and 2, 4, 6 orcs. So this is going to be what I'm working on next. All the orcs are going to have snowy bases, as you can see with these guys. They have like snow bases for like Gazgul. The Space Marines are going to be Flesh Terrors, like I normally have been doing, since this is the chap that I've chosen to paint. And then Death Guard is, fucking Death Guard. So give it that swampy base feeling and whatnot. So I've already started working on the preparation phase of getting all of the Death Guard bases going. And I have another drawer where I'm working on the Space Marines bases. The orcs. The orcs are going to be a mixture of green, red, and purple, because I have convinced myself that I'm not willing to just have fucking green orcs. So we're going to have a mixture of green. The Flesh Terrors are going to be red and black, like I have been. And then Death Guard, like the 2 Death Guard units are going to be regular Death Guard green. And then the Etsy models, I might switch up a little bit. And then the Age of Sigmar models are going to have more of a fleshy color, so they're going to be more pinkish and purples and like rotting, decrepit flesh, So I have quite the mixture, quite the painting that I'm going to be doing. So this entire thing should last me a little over a month or 2. It kind of just depends on how fast I paint, If I paint 5 models a day, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 weeks this should take me, but that's if I paint 5 models a week, So yeah, this should take me quite a while, and I still have an entire fucking tote of unbuilt Marines. And that's not even everything that I have. So needless to say, I have literally an endless supply of models to work on. I just keep buying more and more and more. And it never fucking ends. It's good and bad at the same time. Good that I have the excess, bad that I have so much that I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to complete it. But let's see if this Death Guard unit is dirtied enough to where we can paint it. Hold up, we're going to fix my phone. My phone's a little bit fucking... Right, there we go. Alright, I got it. So... The shame pile grows. I know. Hey, it's not shame. I plan on painting them. I plan on doing this in the future. But you just basically take these brushes, these makeup brushes, and you just fucking go over the whole model as much as you can. You see what I'm doing? But it leaves behind a perfect... It looks so fucking good, man. I love how the streaking grime effect and makes everything look like that dark feeling, And it's not like you're removing that much. It makes it look great. Ancient Space Marines. Yeah, I will have something. I'm gonna have fucking extra of a lot of things at some point. I already have these Chaos Space Marines that I have no fucking interest in painting whatsoever. And that's only because I got them off of Facebook Marketplace, you know. And it was included with the Death Guard Marines that I got. Yes, kitties. Yes, kitties. Hold up, I'll give you loves. Zoom out. Yes. Kitties. Good. Good kitties. Fucking Carrie, cat. Oh. I will show you the cat later when I move my phone. He's been all over us since we've gotten home because he stays down here in Iowa while we're gone. And I have my mom checking on him during that period of time. So he gets quite lonely. That's why he has a tendency of coming in and pretty much demanding affection every once in a while. I mean, it's only because we go up to my girlfriend's house during the weekends, but it's not going to last long because we plan on in 2 weeks from now when we officially move in, he's coming with us, and yeah, it's going to be quite the transition for all of us: the dog, the cat, my girlfriend, me, you know. And the fact the cat has to sit in the car for 4 hours, which is something he's never done before. So it's going to be quite fun. Quite the new fucking experience. Alright, look at that. It's looking really good. I think it looks fucking fabulous. No, I have a leash and whatnot, so worst case scenario, we will pull over and try to get him to go to the bathroom. If not, then he'll just have to go when we get to my girlfriend's house. I'll make sure to remove the water from him in the morning before we leave. So that way he doesn't have a full bladder or anything like that, and I'll remove the food and all of that, and by the time we get there he should be hungry enough to want to eat and go to the bathroom in the litter box. So, and then if worst case scenario, I'll have to get him some like medication to help him like sleep through the whole trip, but I don't think it's going to come to that, to be honest. All right, let's move on to this guy. I love how this fucking dark tone comes out with this model, or these models. The grim dark aspect of this is just fucking phenomenal. I love it. It just makes everything appear so fucking dirty and gross and grimy, especially for Death Guards, you know. And it's like you got to think about it. These are hive cities. These are fucking like decrepit time in the 41st millennium. You know, like nothing's really clean. I mean, you have the occasional like pleasure planets and whatnot, but for the most part, most people are living in fucking hive cities, slums. You know, they're not living a fucking like shower existence. They don't even know what the fuck a shower is most of the time, besides when they're getting processed and whatnot. So these people are living in perpetual just stank, like the fucking France in the fucking 17th century. So, you know, this grim dark, dirty feeling of these Death Guards aren't really too far off from what it's really like for the average citizen in the Imperium. Hell, even Terra is probably fucking a cesspit of fucking disgustingness, you know? So these guys can be literally fucking caked in their grime and necrotic decomposition. So whether or not I add the entire bottle and just dump their asses in there, it really doesn't matter. So in that aspect, it's good, and that's one reason why I like the Death Guard, is because they're easy to paint. Really fucking easy to paint. I think I'm gonna leave this guy how he is. And we'll try and move on to painting this guy again. Though a lot of this is still drying, so I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to get to painting it, but I'm going to try and get the painting the bone protrusions at least. So what I'm going to do with this Ryle wood, this is a new contrast that I got, but I'm going to paint the half part, the half of the model in this dark Ryle wood. And then I'm going to paint the tips contrast black of the Black Templars. I think doing it that way will really bring out the dark aspects of this model and not make it so bright like I have been with like the greens and the purples and the pinks and whatnot, you know? But this is definitely really good. A really fucking good color. I'm liking it already. Some serious fucking dark colors to this. Oh, it just looks so good. And it's one reason why I love painting Death Guard, you know? This is one reason why it's pretty much my main army at this point. It's because you just, the gross factor of Death Guard is just so unbelievable. And it's like, most people want that uniform, you know? They want, like, their Space Marines to look all nice and clean. They want their fucking tanks to look all nice and, like, fucking all the edge highlights, the red uniform, the fucking everything just looks great. But for me, I don't like it. I do not like it. I do not like how clean everything looks, because it just, that's not the reality of the 41st millennium, you know? There's no such thing as fucking clean anything. You know, you can sanctify the weapons and oil all you want, but the fact remains that some of this equipment is 10,000 years old, and a little bit of rust is normal, you know? A little bit of corrosion is the name of the game. Yeah, exactly. Like, I want my tanks, I want my guys to be fucking grody, disgusting. You know, they are like, they are what they are. They're nasty fuckers, and they're in the worst battlefield. You know, just you got to think about it. Just imagine, like, going through a hive city. Like, how many billions of people occupy a space that's literally like fucking what, 20 miles? Think of all the feces and fucking just excrement or just nastiness just rotting away in the gutters, in the underhive. It's just like, they're not really too far off from Death Guard, you know? Even if they try their best to remain like clean, they're about as far away from that aspect as anything else. I mean, I've seen fucking pig pens before, you know, and it's like, now imagine that, but times 100 worth of pigs occupying the same spot. Just, it's absolutely fucking disgusting. And I love it. And yes, I'm a heretic. I'm heretic all the way. Though, I will most definitely paint Custodian and Space Marines. Two favorite factions of Space Marines: Custodians and, okay, not Space Marine faction, but you know what I mean. Armies of the Emperor. How about that? That's a better way of putting it. I'm not even a loyalist. I mean, I'm loyal to Papa Nurgle, if that helps. So I will just say that I'm not just loyal to God Emperor. Though I will say I'm not a fan of like the Necrons in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a fan of Chaos Marines outside of the Death Guard. Like you could fucking give me a box of the Black Legion, and I'd tell you I don't have no interest in painting these fucking things. So in that aspect, yeah, I can definitely agree that I will not be painting anything Abaddon related. So this is what it looks like so far. It's not dry yet. I think it looks pretty decent. I like how the black and the brown intersect on the bone armor. Um, give it a minute to dry, and then we'll come back to it. But I'm going to paint this other guy since we're here, and I think this is pretty much dry at this point. He unfortunately doesn't have much bone protrusions, so I kind of just have to improvise but what I want to paint. Most of his stuff is like fleshy with like the wires and all this stuff. This is the only bone area that I really need to paint. Yeah, and you know, and that's the good thing is there's what fucking 1,000 chapters, so a lot of them haven't even been explored in Games Workshop. So a homebrew chapter is, you know, just par for the course. There's literally no uniformity besides a few chapters, to be honest. Besides a few Space Marine chapters, everything else is kind of up in the air in terms of what you want it to be. I don't really necessarily have the concept or intentions to create my own homebrew chapter, but going about doing that, there's nothing wrong with it, you know. So if you want to say yours are the loyal princesses and it's actual thing, then by all means, fucking go for it, man. That's just an example, but um, all right, let's see. Let's find some pinks and some purples. Drukhari Violet. Yes, please. Drukhari Violet and Lupus Pink. One of my favorite pinks. Alright. So this guy needs a lot of purple on the edges. So a lot of purple on the outside parts of the model, and in the middle is going to be nothing but purples. Same thing with like this bulge right here. It's just going to be the tops. And then we'll just quickly rinse that off. And go into the purples and just kind of wet blend it into the middle of the model. You want to do it when both colors are still wet so they kind of mix in there perfectly. So when it dries, it looks like an even distribution of the colors. There we go. Honestly, this guy doesn't really have much. Okay, that's false. Go back to him. All right, let's go. Let's go pinks. His tongue. I gotta focus right here because this is a task that requires me to do things quick. And then we'll go purples. Alright. Pink. I gotta go to bed tonight. I gotta go to bed soon because I have work in the morning, which is unfortunate because I don't want to fucking go to work, but 2 more weeks. That's it. 2 more weeks and then I'll be done. Man, I will be fucking over this shit. Oh no, don't worry about it, man. It's fine. It's just it's exciting for me, you know, because I've been working the better part of, I don't even know, since I was 20, so 11 years. I've been on 2 vacations in that time, one to Florida and one to Montana, in 11 years. Before that, I never went anywhere. Literally never went anywhere. So for me, it's like as I get closer and closer to this, I'm just ready to be done, ready to be over with, and ready to just, you know, just not work, you know, knowing that I don't have to wake up going to a job anymore. And it's a weird feeling in some respects, but at the same time, it's exciting because I don't know where my future holds. You know, it's up in the air what I decided to do. And for the last 8 years, it's just been a constant mix of repeat itself on a daily basis where I go and do things. And while that's nice, you know, it's nice having that continuous schedule, continuous like grind of knowing that you're going to make a paycheck next week. At the same time, you know, you get to the point to where it starts hitting you where you're just like, holy fuck, like this is just where I'm at. I'm not improving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not getting any better. I'm just existing at this point, making a paycheck day after day. And it's not even necessarily a midlife crisis. It's just a, like for me, it's like there's no prospect of improvement. You know, I've reached the pinnacle of what is possible in my current area. There is nothing higher. There is nothing with a higher paycheck. I cannot work any harder or do anything different to change my current circumstances. And the only way to do something different is to just, you know, move. And for me, moving to Minnesota, it's like I'm around hundreds, if not millions of people. And while that's scary because there's so many people trying to hunt for the same opportunity as me, at the same time, it's like I'm confident in my own skills, and you know, I can trust in my own abilities to do things to where when I do start looking for a job again, I'm not worried about competition, so to say. I'm sure there's going to be people who have more experience than me, but I've pretty much reached the pinnacle of what is expected of me at my age. So when a potential job looks at me and they look at my application, they're going to see, you know, the highest level of what they're hoping for. And that's not me having an egotistical mindset. It's just I'm good at my job. I've never been into an accident. I have no reason to not be hired by anybody. So there's really nobody else that can come along and say that they have more experience in something than me outside of somebody who's worked for 20 or 30 years, you know? Um, so, come here, kitties. Show you the fucking cat. Yes, Mr. Kitties. So you can clearly see him. Yeah, he's been a needy fucker since I haven't been with him all weekend. Yes, he's just a good boy. We'll see how long he lasts here. Just let me give him attention before he gives up. The biggest thing for us right now is her dog has a really high prey drive. So anytime he sees my cat, he wants to eat him, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm hoping that with constant training and whatnot, it will get to the point to where, it will get to the point to where they will get along with each other. But we'll see. So I think I'm done painting for now. I have these two models painted. Tomorrow I will probably finish them and then go from there. But ow, don't dig into my chest, you shit. But yeah. You can probably hear him purring on the mic. But yeah. He's gonna start biting me soon. So just expect me to be online at the same time tomorrow around 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I'm going to be continuing with these two models. I'll finish those up tomorrow, and then Wednesday we will work on fuck this cat. We gotta brush him. Okay, cat. No more. Thank you. Oh. All right. Well, that wasn't really something I was hoping for, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Death Guard. Fuck. I can't continue with my sentence. Death Guard. We're going to paint this guy Wednesday. Lord of Contagion, I believe, is his name. And don't worry, if you're not making it, if you don't make it to the next stream, you can always watch it on live stream. And then after Wednesday, we're going to do Space Marine, one of these 5, and then just kind of go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I'm pretty much done. So it'll be like, what is that? Monday night, finish those, start working on this one, finish this Tuesday, then we'll do like a Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So by next Sunday, I should have all of these done and those done too. And then it'll be on to the other Death Guard units and whatnot. So, yeah. But like I said, if you're not here, Black Fox, don't worry about it, man. It's not that big a deal. I save all my live streams since I started this YouTube channel back in 2012 are still here. So you could go back to 2012 and still see them if you wanted to. I don't delete any of my stuff. I don't believe in that whatsoever. Unless my channel gets taken down, you'll never see me delete a single live stream in the future. But yeah, so I'll show you. This is all the other Death Guard that I have. This is not even this is just Death Guard here. So I have all of this to do. It's quite a lot. All of that. And then I have all of these. Oops. Orcs, Gretchen at the bottom. You really can't see it that well. And then I have like 4 Space Marines. And then I will show you this. Hold up. Let me rotate. So this is the box of mystery. So this is what we have to work with. I got Acadian Shock Troopers, Orc Ludas. I got to paint. I got Plague Monks for Skaven because I fucking want to paint Skaven as well. We have another Skaven, Devastator Squad, Infernus Squad. Oh shit. Orc Boys. And then these are a rocketed beast I don't know. Something fucking orcs. Oh shit, the Glockkin. We have more Custodes. These are the patrol bikes that I need to do. We have a drop pod. Desolation Squad. Oopsie. More Plague Gardeners or whatever. This is the Slimex or whatnot. More Death Guard. And then we have Infiltrators and more Squig heads or whatever. So yeah, we got quite a fucking lot to do. So needless to say, after I move in, I will not have to worry about buying anything in the future. That's the current goal. I don't plan on buying a single fucking thing once I move in until I start a new job. So between 2 to 5 months. So if I can't get through all of that on this fucking tray and like half of that in 5 months, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. But I'm going to get off from here. I will finish these 2 models together. If I don't see you tomorrow, it's fine. I'll take a picture, post them up on my YouTube community channel, and I'll post them on Discord as well. But, yeah, I will see you tomorrow if you're there. If not, yeah. But I'm going to talk to you later. I got to get to bed for work tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Peace out, and I'll talk to you later.